Okay, this week we're actually going to take a break from getting into like the Smart Recovery Handbook to kind of like showcase how you replace something actually based on psychology other than cult religion. And I'm going to get into the typical program review. So I'm always going to, or at least the plan is to always do like program reviews as soon as I get done with the ones I'm doing with Athlean X and everything. Just so big Athlean X fan, and like because the programs seem to be like working well for me, so I seem to respond well to that type of training. So this one is all about the Muscle Madness program. So Muscle Madness program is a 1 month program. So like the NXT programs that like Jeff Cavalier first came out after he did with the AX1 and AX2. So I'm always going to say like the best place to start with the Athlean X programs is the AX1 and then the AX2. So with the AX1, it's like a 3 month program. It's like a full body split, 3 days a week plus 2 days in conditioning, so you can get done during the work week. They do have he does have like TNT plugins that you can use. So like for instance, like if you find that like there's a body part like your back, your chest, legs, arms, shoulders, or whatever that you feel is lagging, the TNT plugins give you like you can plug into the AX1 program and run it again, doing like a 6 day where like it's that a shoulder Pacific or Lake Pacific workout where you can help bring that up. So you can, in essence, repeat the AX1 program with the TNT plugins. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it. You can do like the AX1 program and then move on to the AX2 program. So that's where I usually say like that you're going to want to start like even if like you're like at least an intermediate. That way you kind of get used to like, okay, so here's the concepts he's using, and here's his basic like premise and his the basic approach to like training and lifting and stuff like that, so that like you get like a decent like understanding of like what Jeff Cavalier is doing with his programs. Now, like once you get through like the AX1 and AX2 program, like you pretty much like you can kind of like, okay, well, where do leaves the door open, like where do I go next? Okay, I can do the NXT programs that I mentioned that are there's 18 of them, 1 month long programs that you can do right back to back and everything. Or you can start getting into like the more like intermediate and advanced programs. So there's Beast 2, there's Old School Iron, there's like Monster Maker, the Jacked, which is dumbbell only. He's got elastics, like only program. He's also got like a basics program, which is body weight, calisthenics, and stuff like that. It's like and like Old School Iron, Beast. There's Max Shred, Max Size, and like there's other NXT programs like there's Bane training. There's like Dragon, which is Bane is based on like training like you would become Bane. Dragon is Bruce Lee type training. And then like you got stuff like Iron Curtain, which is a 1 month program that is based on like the old Soviet Union style of training. But this one, Muscle Madness, is pretty much like another 1 month long program, and it's the concept of following like a March Madness. Like, and of course we're in the recording of this video, we're just now finishing up this year's iteration of March Madness and everything. So like the using the concept of like a March Madness. Let's take this and put it into like a kind of like a workout program. So now there's only 3 workouts per week and everything. So like you might kind of like only three workouts, but like they are definitely intense workouts because the way it's structured, it's a push like a pretty much the total body. So you're doing push, pull, legs, and abs. And like so, what you do is like in a sense 3 rounds for each in a sense section. So like 3 rounds for push, 3 rounds for pull, 3 rounds for legs, and then 3 rounds for abs. And the way it works is like when you start out, like each one has like a round 1, 2, and 3. So round 1, you have 3 minutes to do like 4 exercises, like 15 maybe or 20 reps, depending on like how you progress. Like usually like it might how it breaks it up with like A1, B1, A2, B2, like C1, D1, C2, and D2. You might be flip flopping, starting off with like the first A and B, and then the first C and D, with 15 reps for each exercise. Then you go to the number 2 with a set, and then kind of the second and fourth week, and you're doing 20 reps for each of the 4 exercises, and you have a 3 minute time limit to get done, in a sense, done all 80 reps and everything. So like for instance, like push, like you might sit there and like do like a dumbbell bench press, and then you might move over to like doing the up and over for your shoulders, and then like you sit there and do like tricep extensions, and then maybe go the flies or something for your 4 exercises. And then being in the concept of March Madness, like advance into like the Sweet 16, then like the eight, and then the Final Four type of deal. You move on to the next round where of those 4 exercises, 2 of them win and move on. So like in essence, like you might, the first round, the 4 exercises I use as an example, you might end up doing like the dumbbell bench press, and then maybe the tricep extensions in the second round. You now have a minute and 50 seconds to get like 15 or 20 reps of those 2 exercises. And then in the third round, one of those 2 exercises would win. So maybe like a bench press wins. And then you do like a final round where you have like 40 seconds, like 35 or 45 seconds to do 20 reps of that final exercise. The rest time in between the rounds is like whatever time left you have on the timer plus 20 seconds. So like if your timer from like going from the first round to the second round, you have 20 seconds left, you have a 40-second rest period between the first and second round. And same kind of concept, like with second round, maybe you had 20 seconds, you had just 10 seconds between like the second and third round. You would have 30 seconds rest between the second and third round. You do that for like the pushing exercises, the same kind of, then you move on to like the pull-in exercises, same kind of concept. You start off with 4 exercises, 15 or 20 reps per exercise, 3 minutes to get all 80 reps done. Rest time, whatever time left plus 20 seconds you have between like the first and second, and then like a rest time is whatever time you have left plus 20 seconds between the second and third rounds. So you have like 4 exercises, 3 minutes to do 80 reps. Then second round, 2 of those exercises win and move on. You have a minute 50 to get like 40 of the reps of 20 of each of those 2 exercises. You then move on to the third round where one of those exercises wins, and you have like 45 seconds to do 20 reps. And then you follow the same kind of concept for like your leg exercises. And then like you do the same thing again, like for abs. So it's like a total body workout, but like as you can see, it's like very intense because like you have a time limit to get like so many reps done and everything. So like maybe like the first week you try it and like you feel like, oh man, I have so much rest time in between, like I went too light. Then you next week, like I went too light. Like maybe like for the dumbbell bench press, I was using like maybe going through the push exercises as an example. Oh, I was using 60 pounds, and like that felt too light because I had like an extra 50 seconds left plus the 20-second rest between the first and second rounds. Okay, well I'm going to up it to like maybe 70 pounds. Well, now I only have like maybe 30 seconds in between each round for rest time. Like there we go. That ups in the intensity. So like you're lowering the time that you do spend in the gym, because a 3 minute, like 4 3-minute rounds, so there's 12 minutes. Like then the second round is like 2 minutes. Like so there's like another 8 minutes. So like there's 20 minutes plus like another 45 minutes, 45 seconds for the last 4 rounds. So there's another like 3 minutes. So you're looking at like a total like of like 23 minutes roughly of instance working time of like doing exercises. But the rest, like plus you add in like maybe the extra 20 seconds rest time in between like each of the rounds and everything, you're looking at maybe like a half-hour workout and everything. So like that's kind of one of the philosophies that like that Jeff Cavaliers uses. Like as volume goes up, your time goes up, but as your intensity goes up, your time goes down and everything. So like you could say in essence do like that, using that as a frame of reference, 3 sets of bench press for like 3 sets of 12. You could do like a 1 minute rest, the typical rest time in between each set, and then like do that for each subsequent like exercise for like a push workout, and you're in there for like an hour and a half. What you do then, instead of like taking that minute rest or whatever, you up the intensity. You know, you're probably going to have to drop the weight and everything. So like you start off at maybe say 135 bench press, and you're doing the 3 sets and everything. maybe you reduce it down to like 30 seconds. You reduce it down to maybe going to dumbbells and using like the 60 pounds that I used as an example before, but doing like a 30-second rest, like you're increasing the intensity because you're decreasing the amount of time. And like, I mean, yes, you're still like decreasing the amount of weight, but the increase in intensity will make up for it and everything. So that's the concept of like doing these like in a sense like a 3 minute 50 45 second rounds and everything for each muscle group and everything. You're up in the intensity, so yes, you might have, like I said, you might have to lower the weight and everything, but your intensity is going to make up in essence for that decrease in weight and everything. So that's kind of like the inverse relationship, like yeah, because like the whole phrase is like you can either train long or you can train hard, but you can't necessarily do both. The perfect example that Jeff Cavalier uses is like burpees. You can sit there and train burpees, like that's an intense like exercise. You can't do that for like you wouldn't necessarily be able to do it for like an hour and a half like you could like with the traditional like bodybuilding actually like a framework of a minute to 2 minutes rest in between each set and everything, because like you get burnt out that much faster because you're up in the intensity and everything. So this is kind of like a long-winded rant of me like showcasing like how muscle madness is set up and how it can actually be quite effective and everything for you, even with only like 3 workouts a week and everything. So now like, well, I need to be. You could be someone like, well, I still need to be doing something like because like a psychological effect. Your Tuesdays and Thursdays you get out for walks, and plus maybe you can get into yoga and stuff and do some stretches and stuff like that. So you're still doing something and get that psychological effect of, hey, at least I'm still doing something in between each workout. And like by doing something like walking and yoga, it's going to help in recovery and everything. So then it still frees up the weekend for you to like, especially if you're a parent or something, it frees up the weekend to be able to get out and get stuff done with like your kids and stuff because they might have events or whatever. So and plus with this only being a 1 month program, it's definitely perfect because like it's kind of like before you know it, it'd be like you look up and you're like, oh shit, it's been 4 weeks, I'm done already. That's the great thing about these 1 month programs is kind of they're like kind of in a sense mini sprints or whatever, and like you can get 3 done in in the same amount of time you could get like a traditional like program done. Another way they're good is like maybe you are coming off like a 4 month program, like a old school iron or all American muscle. You can use something like this, like, oh, I need a break from like one of those long ass programs after doing it for 4 months. You can just come in here and do like a sprint or whatever, like I said. And that's where that would come in handy. So this is me kind of like a long winded rant on saying like muscle madness is definitely well worth it if you're looking to like increase the intensity of like of lifting and everything. So now again, it's only 3 workouts every single week, but it's definitely well worth it and everything because it more than makes up for it in its intensity.